Hello and welcome to PopCulture X, and we are celebrating a milestone of 100,000 views
And
inside a year.
it's
Who would have
quite.
thunk?
Well, I don't know because it is hard, isn't it? Because I don't really look at what other people have done. I'm sure there's people going 100,000. Oh, I clocked that up on day one, but I must admit when we started doing this, I didn't really think about how many people would ever watch it, which
Yeah.
is probably a healthy but a strange way of going into something like this. But I don't know. I hear 100,000 views and I go, "Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?" For two idiots
Yep.
sitting here talking about comic books and music. That feels like, well, certainly when we talked about it, that felt like quite a milestone and one that, yeah, as I say, I'd never really considered getting there. But so yeah, we thought we wanted to kind of honor it in some way, and we are absolutely slaves to trying to do special episodes whenever we can, aren't we?
It is, and it isn't fitting that it is just before we hit our first birthday that we
Yes.
we break the landmark,
Yeah.
and we've gone with a selection from the masses, because this was put into the Lovebites feedback, because that's one of those
Yeah.
videos that blew up and got us a big old chunk of views.
Yeah, we had that little run there, didn't we? And
Yes.
and more by luck than design because we recorded the baby metal one, hadn't we?
Yeah.
And there was a few mentions of like a couple of bands, and we just one night we just sat down and went, "Oh, come on, let's have one of each," and then we put them up like day after day after day, and they all did really well, didn't they? Like they
Yeah.
really, I think they contributed to got close to 20,000 themselves. So yeah, it feels right that we honour that, and we liked all of them as well, didn't we? So
We
that's
did.
a massive bonus.
And because of me being me and finding the song we were doing, everyone kept going, "Look, the guy's got a Slayer hat on.
Yeah,
Listen to the Thrashy one."
yeah.
So we're going with the Thrashy one.
Little did they know you've never listened to Slayer and you just found that hat in a bin.
There's a reason we haven't done Slayer on the channel, because I can't take you not liking it.
I don't. Why do you think I won't like it?
Because you don't like all the things that I like. You badmouth my favourites.
I badmouth the bad ones. But a pre-warning: if we do Slayer, and we will do Slayer at some point, you will hear us two bicker about how it's not the great. They haven't written the greatest album ever, because that's what we do whenever we're not recording, really, isn't it? Is bicker about that.
We do. So,
Yeah.
shall we break the walls
Oh
with
yes,
love bites?
and again, I've got a real thing of this recently. I'm presuming this isn't a cover of the amazing Chris Jericho theme tune, but either way, um, we loved the one time we visited Love Bites so far. So I'm hoping that live Love Bites is as great as recorded Love Bites. But
Yes. I will,
let's. Oh, sorry.
I will just say you have disappeared on the preview.
Let's
Just
do this.
break the walls. I like that.
I was going to say, played too much of an advert. That wasn't an extra 100,000th episode bonus. Yeah. You go first in this one because like I felt like it would be one that you would love. So
Yeah. Oh, I can see why people were saying like Slayer vibes and stuff because the drum pattern into that opening riff is stinks of Slayer, and like Exodus and Creator and those other really fucking banging uh, early 80s thrash bands. Has a bit of a Dark Angel as well, and there where it goes that little bit slower and has the sort of slightly a doomier sort of solo there as well. Musically, fucking absolutely love this. I am all for this. Give me much more of this. Um, I think this might be one that when I listen to it on the like a recorded version, the vocals are a bit come through a bit better. I
yeah,
just felt it was either the recording that she was doing or the mix or whatever. She was just the vocals were just a little bit too far behind the music.
I'm glad you got that as well because I felt like probably not through any fault of their own. Like
Yeah,
it felt like the recording to me that yeah, the vocals were just dulled out, and through it I was thinking I can't wait to hear this recorded version because I think you'll pick up so much more of the vocals on the recorded version.
yeah. It said it just seemed that whoever was doing the sound or how they were mixing it or whatever, it just the vocals were just a little bit too low in the
Yeah,
mix
yeah,
for everything else. Which, see the fact what we've heard them with the other one was so not that thrashy, that heavy and stuff. Maybe because of the fact that they move around as much as they do, from what the people were saying in the comments and stuff, they don't just sit in one bit of metal.
yeah.
That it's probably a nightmare for whoever is doing the sound mixing and stuff and the balancing to have it perfect for every song.
But also, I'm conscious of when it's a live recording. Sometimes it is the person recording the live bit, isn't it? You know, like
Yeah,
we try to avoid ones where it's someone 8,000 miles behind with a their camera, their phone, the camera phone. But yeah, you know that's going to potentially influence that. I'm with you with the music. The music was spot on. I like the fact that this feels like a band that cares about everyone in it and every element of what it does, and partially adding in so many elements to allow everyone in the band to have their moment. And I think it comes across really strong. And yeah, as you say, like you start off like a house on fire, don't you? And even though there's fluctuations in tempo throughout and stylistic fluctuations, it doesn't feel like they're unnatural fluctuations. It feels like this is your time to shine, go.
yeah.
And yeah, and every single one of them was an absolute pleasure to me.
And so the first solo, the one that was very Slayery solo, that was fucking awesome. I'm all for all
Well,
for that.
weirdly enough, for all of the solos, I kept thinking to myself, yeah, no, this is the solo I'll talk about. And then when I got to into it, I just know I like all of the solos. One of the things that really stood out for me as well, and oddly, I think it's something I don't normally pick up on, but they, it's that performance side of it. You know, like they're performing with their faces as well. Like some great moments where when they're doing solos, where it's almost like winky wink to the camera, you know this is good, and it's not something I generally pick up, but I really liked it. I like the confidence that they have, and I think that confidence hopefully is born out of because you know what I said about like all of the elements being kind of equally as important, or certainly seem to be given equal amounts of credence in this, inclusive of that interaction with the crowd.
Yeah,
You know, like that, and don't get me wrong, this does feel like a crowd pleasing song. I'm not saying every song will quite do this, but you know, bands forever since there was someone since a caveman picked up a bone and pretended it was a microphone. You know, the age old put the mic out to the crowd has been done, but
yeah,
they felt like they really wanted to and kind of had manufactured. You know, like she's doing the shush bit in between to then kind of hit them with it. And yeah, I don't know. I just think this is a really good illustration of a really great song done to a crowd, and you sitting there at home, or us sitting here at home, obviously, and going, I wish I was in that crowd for that track. And you know, you can't
See,
really say fairer than that for a live, I don't think.
yeah, it's one of those of after seeing this, I'm kicking myself that I didn't go down that night with my mate to when they were in Norwich because they were the ones that were supporting Dragon Force. But my disdain for latter day Dragon Force, and after seeing them live a few times, once they had the lineup change from when I used to like them, going, I can't. It was on like a Thursday night. It was like 20 quid, and I was like, I'd have fucking loved these. It'd have been one of those if I'd done the support bands, had a couple of beers, and then gone to the pub to beat the rush. I'm kicking myself. I didn't go.
Well, and you know, you sort of say that. I mean, that's kind of the secret backstory, and not secret because we did it on the show. But of this is we might not have got to. I mean, we probably would have because of the stereo started playing, but we wouldn't have got into it if it wasn't for the mix up around which band was playing in Norwich that night, and then it leading to us going, well, okay, who was that band? Let's listen to them. And um, I'll say, I mean, there's a long way to go for across all of those groups, but these are still retaining my top spot for of that of the four bands we did in that run. They're still top spot, and this has done nothing to disavow me of that idea. In fact, if anything, yes, it even more so makes me want to do their albums in their entirety from album one.
So yeah, so of the original ones that we did, Nemo File were the ones that took it with the more tech metal one, but this beats that. Love Bites now in the lead after this, because just feed me dirty thrash riffs and I'm yours.
Well, unless you love this so much, you can actually listen to a Slayer album rather than being a fake ass with that hat you found in a bin now, can't you? Yeah. I mean, it is a great track, and I look forward to doing it again at a certain point when we do the studio version, because I do want to do the studio version of this and do the comparative. But yeah, cracking band, can't wait to do more. And like we will do more. And
Yes.
but to go back to, I guess, the reason for doing this is that 100,000 views. Yeah, again, thanks to everyone who's dropped us a view, and especially thanks to all those people who have subscribed, because you know that is kind of a YouTube thing, but more so
Yep.
comments, because you know that did debate quite a big conversation of who was this mystery band in Norwich that night, and you know it really did kind of help us along the way to I don't know, going for these and picking it up.
Yes.
But yeah, it's we'll probably do this if no one watched, wouldn't we? Because spoilers for everyone out there, we tend to record our episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays because they're the nights we have free. But I can't imagine we wouldn't be talking about something on a Tuesday and Friday now, even
Yeah.
if, say, if no one else was. But it is nice. It is nice having those interactions, and obviously those kind of views have led to people interacting with us. So yeah, thank you everyone. It's really appreciated.
So if you're new here, like, subscribe, ring the bell, go in the back catalogue. There
Yeah,
is all sorts, a pantheon of Rammstein, as we do like to work our way through Rammstein albums.
yeah.
But all sorts of music. Drop comments, drop your likes, drop your
Drop
bits in there,
recommends.
recommendations in there.
That's a big thing for us, and we do have a massive backlog at the moment, and a massive backlog because thanks to everyone who's done it. But I would say probably don't recommend a Love Bites song because I'm pretty sure we're going to do them all anyway. But if there are other bands, if you're a Love Bites fan and there are other bands you love, then yeah, drop them in, because we're always looking to extend the bands we listen to, know, like, and react to.
Yeah, and if you are a fan of Love Bites, we've done, as I said, Nemophile, there's Bandmade,
Yeah.
Maximum the Hormone. If you've never heard of
Oh,
them, get on
don't.
them.
Yeah, if you haven't, and I hadn't, and thank you, Chris, for introducing him to me. Oh, I love Maximum the Hormone.
AA equals as well if you're
Yes,
Japanese metal. So there is bits and pieces on the channel. But as said and said, thank you all very much for getting us to the 100,000 views. Here's to the next milestone.
250,000 views.
Yep. a quarter of a
Yeah.
million. We'll do another special at a quarter of a million views. Think of it. Just think of that as a number.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, isn't it? I was
It
just saying that's a lot of
is.
people. There are repeat viewers. It's not 250,000. That we'd be doing something wrong, wouldn't we? If people would only ever watch us once, but well,
Yes.
might. But
But people do come back, which is
yeah,
great.
yeah,
So as always, comments down there. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, like YouTube things, and we'll be back with some more specials very soon for our birthday. Goodbye.